You know, I say this every year, the 70s is truly a most exciting and innovative and explosive decade for skateboarding. And, you know, right alongside the men, there were some truly gifted and talented women who are breaking boundaries and setting the bar high for all other women to follow. Tonight we have the honor of inducting one woman who truly represented women's skateboarding with an elegance and precise style that not only epitomized the most professional and well thought out freestyle routine, setting that bar even higher for all other female skateboarders to follow, but also won her the 1977 World Championship title in the freestyle at Long Beach. With tricks like a press into a handstand from the board, she was the first woman to do that, which is no joke, as well as a flawlessly elegant and technically superior routine that is still remembered to this day. To induct Miss Ellen Berryman into the 2016 Skateboarding Hall of Fame, please help me welcome to the stage again a true gentleman and scholar, Mr. Dennis Schufelt.
Woohoo! I need a cot up here or something. Chair, lounge chair, lazy boy. Hey, you know, this is an honor. Ellen Berryman came out of nowhere in '75, and by 1976 she was dominating the freestyle competition. It all started when she tagged along out to the Black Hill in La Costa with her sister Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. And we could tell she had a lot of talent. And I think it was the first time she'd ever been on a skateboard. Barefoot, no pads, quiet, demure, just very shy. Before you know it, she's going down the Black Hill upside down in a handstand. And Paul St. Pierre, the team manager of Team Baines, said, "Oh, I gotta have that one. That one's mine." He was a savant, you know, he was the Svengali of skateboard teams. So he grabs her and puts her on the team. And I remember practices, you know, we'd skate either at the Bain factory or out at the Black Hill, and nobody worked harder. Nobody worked harder than Ellen. She wanted to make sure she got all the freestyle moves down. She had the gymnastic background. It was just, it was crazy. Natural talent. Her teammate Dennis Martinez, he said watching Ellen perform was like watching the Olympics. And it was. Truly flawless routines all the time. As Dave said, she won back-to-back world championships, 1976, 1977. And the only reason she didn't win it 3 times because there wasn't one the third year, but she won the national championships in 1978. I happened to be a coach for the Loganerski team at the time, and I was coaching Robin, and Robin skated a flawless routine and came up 1 point short against Miss Ellen Berryman. The only time she ever beat Ellen was she made it into the Hall of Fame before. That was the only time. You know? And Laura Thornhill called her a fierce and elegant competitor, and that sums it up quite well. But you know, Ellen said that, you know, she owes a lot to skateboarding because it enabled her to travel the world, meet wonderful people, make lasting relationships. But I think skateboarding owes Ellen Berryman a lot because she set the bar so high for everybody else. It was amazing. Now, after her skateboard career was over with, she went to college. She put herself to college, okay? And this drive was from her sister and from her father, who was an incredible man, a paraplegic that did incredible things on the ranch. And she went on, she got this is amazing, she's so smart. She got a master's degree in biology and then a bachelor's degree in zoology. And, you know, she got this from being, you know, nurtured while living on the ranch in Encinitas before Encinitas was overgrown. But And like right now, as back in the past, she's still that champion. She truly is, because for 30 years, and when you see her, you're going to say, there's no way that woman has been doing this for 30 years plus skating. She's worked in the field of environmental biology, where she develops conservation plans for endangered species. So like I said, a champion then, a champion for planet Earth now. I feel it's a privilege that I know her. So it's a great honor to present to you tonight, two-time world champ, Ellen Berryman.
Thank you, Dennis. I'm so grateful that you agreed to introduce me. I've always really respected you since I first saw you bombing Black Hill back in the day, the fastest man on earth. So I don't know about the 3 minutes here, but let's see what I have. So as Dennis said, I grew up kind of out in the sticks in Encinitas before it was grown up, and it was a long dirt road. There was no pavement, so I didn't skate when I was little. But my pop, he bought me this half-broken horse, and every time I got on that horse, it would throw me. It would buck and rear, and I'd go flying in the air, and every single time I'd get thrown. And my pop taught me to keep getting back on that horse. And my pop should know, because when he was 37 with a wife and 2 kids and a third on the way, he was building a house and he fell off the roof and onto a wheelbarrow and broke his back and was paralyzed from the waist down. And the doctors told him that he would never walk again. But they didn't know him. And after 6 months in a body cast, he sawed it off himself and taught himself how to walk, and it was unprecedented in those times. So when he said, keep getting back on that horse, I listened to him. And I kept getting thrown until finally I didn't, and my horse and we came to an understanding. And that was a really good lesson for skateboarding. And then later, Paul St. Pierre, he was kind of my mofo of Team Bain. He told me, you got to learn to fall before you learn to fly, right? So I think people like Pamela and other people who've been through hardships and come back up understand what that means. So I have to say this, skateboarding, it gave me a sense of confidence that carried me through my life. I was, like Dennis said, I was super shy as a kid. I would go for days without talking to anybody, and then when I tried to talk, it would come out as kind of like a croak. You know, I was so shy. And my very first rock concert ever, when I was a teenager, was right down here at Anaheim Stadium, Jethro Tull, 60,000 people. More people than I'd ever seen in my life, and I was supposed to skateboard in front of them. And I did it, and you know, and since then, I've always compared my experience to that. Like when I had to give my master's, defend my master's thesis in front of a bunch of professors, I'm like, okay, if I did that, I got this, you know. So So I owe it to my sister, Cindy Berryman, who's here, to introduce me to skateboarding. I tagged along with her to Black Hill in La Costa, and that was the first time I skateboarded, and I fell in love with it from the beginning. Just that feeling of, gliding down that smooth, perfect asphalt of La Costa. Anybody who was there knows what I mean. And it was there, I was so lucky to be in the right place in the right time, because so many pioneers of skateboarding were there. I met Ty Page there. I remember seeing him doing his tricks. All the Logans, my dear friend Robin Logan, Laura Thornhill, Di Dutzen and her whole entourage of slalom racers. Yeah, and Team Bain, that's where I met the people of Team Bain, Bob Moore, may it rest in peace. And and Pat Flanagan, and Dennis was with Bain then. And I was really lucky that Paul saw something in me, Paul St. Pierre, because I'd only been skating maybe a few weeks when he took me onto Team Bain. And that pretty much changed my life. Team Bain, we'd get together every Sunday. We'd practice all morning in the parking lot of the Bain factory. We'd do freestyle all morning and teach each other tricks. And then all afternoon, we'd go to La Costa and practice slalom. And so I learned a lot there. And then we started going around doing contests and demos all over. And it was really pretty much my introduction to the world, because I had been so isolated before that. And then Patrick Mulcahy, he started Skateboard Expo. And I traveled around in this crazy skateboard show with all these wonderful people, all the Logans, and Bobby Piercy, and Conrad Miyoshi, and Kim Suspides, and Judith Cohen, and Deanna Calkins, I think, was there, yeah, and Kim Taylor, all kinds of wonderful skaters, and we just traveled all over the country. And so that was my introduction to the world. Then I got to skate in Europe with a European company. So I just want to thank Cindy. By the way, my sister Cindy married Patrick Mulcahy, who was the producer of Skateboard Expo, and they've been married for 35 years. So I thank them for So I thank them for helping me gain that confidence, and for Team Bain. Confidence has carried me through my career. I also want to thank my brother Ted, because he used to take me to, when he was studying, he's an artist, and he took me to UC San Diego Library to learn choreography. I mean, when I went there, I studied choreography, including like Martha Graham, and so I put that into my routines. And Nadia Comaneci, who got the first perfect 10 in 1976 for gymnastics, which inspired me to win my first world championship. So I have to admit that I did walk away from skateboarding for quite a long period of time. When I was first learning how to adult, I thought that skateboarding was not part of adulting. It wasn't until just a few years ago when people like Mofo and Ellen O'Neill encouraged me to get involved in Facebook. And all of a sudden, I saw there were, first of all, I had a lot of fans that I didn't realize I had. And then also there were all kinds of skaters who had just kept skating. And I was really, really amazed and felt a lot of respect for these people who kept skating. Barbara Odanaka and her Mighty Mamas. encouraging women our age to skate. And Robin Logan giving me the encouragement to actually skateboard at the event, the Mighty Mamas event. Thank you, Robin. And there's also the Longboarding Girls crew. They're made up of women all over the world. I discovered I had inspired some of them, and now they're inspiring me. And now I love skating with my amazing daughter, Meg Hannah, who's here tonight. The other day I heard this word on the radio, grit. And I thought this is the word that perfectly characterizes what all us skaters, it describes all us skaters. Another word for it is mettle. A person's ability to face a demanding situation in a spirited and resilient way. That describes us because we're up against the asphalt and the concrete, not the forgiving snow or water or a padded gymnasium. And we take on that challenge with spirit and resilience. So I've had broken arms and ribs and skull and what else? Countless hippers and burgers. Of course, when we're smart, we wear our safety equipment and we learn how to, fall in a way that doesn't hurt us as bad. But the point is, we all know that you have to learn to fall before you learn to fly. And we all continue, and we continue to fall and get up again, and then we fly. So I don't want to get deeper philosophical, but I do love this one quote from my favorite philosopher, Ralph Waldo Emerson, who said, "We live amid surfaces, and the true art of life is to skate well on them." So thank you all. I'm very honored. Thanks so much for giving me a place in the Skateboard Hall of Fame. And more importantly, thank you for giving me a place in the world of skateboarding with all of you, my friends and skateboard family.
All right.
I also want to thank my amazing fellow women skaters that I competed with. Robin Logan, Laura Thornhill, Ellen O'Neill, Kim Suspides, Desiree Von Essen, Deanna Calkins, and all of you for always pushing my limits. As Patrick says, peace and love. Skate well.
Give it up for Ellen Berryman. All right.